Excellency, the Permanent Representative of Eritrea, for his statement. And I now give the floor to the distinguished representative of Armenia. You have the floor, sir.
Thank you, Madam Chairperson. At the outset, allow me to join the previous speakers in congratulating Ambassador Eritrea, as well as other members of the Bureau upon the election to the chairmanship of the committee. Let me also express my delegational readiness to work with you and pledge our firm support in order to achieve the ambitious goals that are ahead of us during the current session. Armenia attaches great importance to the efforts of the UN aimed at establishment of international regional security, stability, and atmosphere of confidence. We believe that peace and security are directly linked to disarmament and arms control. In this connection, the elimination of weapons of mass destruction, conventional arms control, prevention of militaristic growth of defense budget, and the stabilizing accumulation of armaments play a fundamental role in prevention of conflict and their management, and lead to confidence building on regional and global levels. Furthermore, unconditional implementation and thorough strengthening of the existing disarmament and non-proliferation agreements, as well as international verification mechanisms and institutions, should become a priority for the international community. Madam Chairperson, Armenia considers non-proliferation on nuclear weapon treaty, NPT, based on its three main pillars, namely non-proliferation, disarmament, and peaceful use of nuclear energy, as an essential foundation for global nuclear non-proliferation regime, and believes that upholding and universalizing the NPT in the nowadays situation in particular is more critical than ever. Armenia welcomes the establishment by the UN General Assembly September 26 as the International Day for Total Elimination of Nuclear Weapons. In this context, let me recall the statement of the UN Secretary General on that occasion, stipulating that this International Day is not merely one on which we call for limiting nuclear weapons, reducing their range, constraining their deployments, or reducing their role in security policies. It's also a day that the world community reflects on the many benefits that nuclear disarmament would offer, from enhancing security to the conservation of financial and scientific resources. The UN Security Council Resolution 1540 is the primary international tool to fight the proliferation of nuclear, chemical, and biological weapons. Its full implementation remains high on our agenda. Very soon, the government of Armenia will approve the National Plan of Action for the implementation of Resolution 1540. It's a remarkable interagency effort by the Armenian side in close cooperation with the UN 1540 Committee, OSCE, and EU CBRN Centers of Excellence Initiative. Madam Chairman, UN Program of Action to Prevent, Combat, and Eradicate the Illicit Trade of Salt in all its aspects, the only global instrument in this field. We share the view voiced by many that salt control have to be intensified in a number of areas. It reflects a common understanding of the joint responsibility and commitment to stop the proliferation of salt, which still constitutes a huge impediment for peace and security in the world. Armenia also believes that entering into the force of Comprehensive Nuclear Threat Ban Treaty, CTBT, a long overdue task, will be a decisive step towards nuclear disarmament and non-proliferation. We still see merit in implementing the CFE Treaty on Conventional Armed Forces in Europe. The treaty played a key role in bringing down the numbers of military equipment to a remarkably low level and eventually created unprecedented cultural arms control through its information exchange and verification mechanism. Unfortunately, the CFE Treaty recently has been experiencing serious implementation problems. It's obvious that the new security environment in Europe needs a careful reassessment to be followed by putting in place a functional conventional arms control. No doubt that it should inherit certain components of the existing one that have proven their viability. Advocating for the strengthening of international humanitarian law and fully supportive of its humanitarian goals, Armenia regards the Convention of Certain Conventional Weapons and the Mine Ban Convention as important international instruments to achieve the goal of eradication of entire category of excessive injurious conventional weapons. It always has been our conviction that the human and social cost of the use of anti-personnel mines, booby traps, and other explosive devices far outweigh their military significance. Moreover, while being a party of the Convention, Armenia implements on voluntary basis. While not being a party of the Convention, Armenia implements on voluntary basis the Articles 11 and 13 of the amended Landmine Protocol of the CCW Convention, as well as presents annual information in the format of the OSCE questionnaire on anti-personnel mines to the OSCE Conflict Prevention Center. Given the security problems in our region, Armenia is ready to consider joining the above-mentioned conventions in case the principle of simultaneous accession by all states of the region is applied. Madam Chairperson, let me conclude by stressing once again the importance of continuous efforts to further improve and expand the international legal system in the field of conventional arms control regime. Armenia remains fully committed to its international obligations on arms control. Allow me also to mention that Armenia has committed itself to the strengthening of the international capacities of the UN. We support the organization's activities aimed at international peace and security, and we are ready to bring our visible contribution to it. Thank you, Madam Chairperson.
I thank the distinguished Deputy Permanent Representative of Armenia for his statement. I now give the floor to the distinguished representative of Argentina.